You've been told that nuts are healthy. But what if I told you that one of the most popular ones, probably sitting in your pantry right now, could quietly damage your heart, your brain, even your liver? Shocking, right? What's worse, most people over 60 are eating it thinking it's good for them. But according to new research published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, several common nuts can raise blood pressure, clog arteries, increase inflammation, and even worsen memory and cognition over time. And one particular nut often praised by health influencers, now linked to a toxic compound that builds up in your system with regular consumption. But don't worry. In this video, I'll show you exactly what to keep and what to toss. In this comprehensive guide, we'll reveal the 4 best nuts for heart, bone, and brain health after 60, the 4 worst nuts that silently sabotage your well-being, and the 1 nut that seems healthy but carries a hidden risk almost no one talks about. So if you care about staying sharp, strong, and independent as you age, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Oh, and before we dive in, let us know in the comments, which country or city are you watching from? We love seeing where our community is growing. The bone-strengthening powerhouse. As we age, our bones become more porous, more brittle. A simple fall can lead to a fracture, and a fracture, after 65, can be the start of a much bigger health decline. That's why almonds are one of the most important foods you can eat after 60. Just 1/4 cup of almonds delivers about 97 milligrams of calcium, and that's just the beginning. They also contain magnesium, a mineral many older adults are deficient in, which plays a critical role in getting calcium to the bones instead of clogging the arteries. But almonds don't stop at bone health. Their monounsaturated fats help lower LDL cholesterol, reducing heart disease risk, a major concern for seniors. And for anyone struggling with constipation, almonds offer a generous 3.5 grams of fiber per serving, a simple, natural way to support digestion. Researchers at Tufts University have even shown that almonds can help protect brain cells from the oxidative damage linked to aging and cognitive decline. Eat 15 to 20 almonds per day. Choose them raw or dry roasted, without added salt. And always go for almonds with the skin, which contains flavonoids that boost the antioxidant power of vitamin E. Almonds can be a choking hazard for those with swallowing difficulties. Chew carefully or consider grinding them into smoothies or soft dishes. Every handful of almonds is more than a snack. It's a daily investment in stronger bones, a healthier heart, and a sharper mind. The brain-boosting nut. Take a close look at a walnut. Its shape is no coincidence. It resembles the very organ it helps protect, the brain. Walnuts are nature's most powerful plant-based source of omega-3s, specifically alpha-linolenic acid, ALA. These healthy fats help keep brain cell membranes strong and support the neurotransmitters responsible for memory and focus. In a study published in the Journal of Nutrition, seniors who ate just 1.5 ounces of walnuts per day for 8 weeks showed measurable improvements in processing speed and mental flexibility. But that's just the beginning. Walnuts contain unique polyphenolic compounds that can cross the blood-brain barrier, fighting inflammation directly in the brain, and potentially slowing the progression of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. What most people don't know? Walnuts also contain melatonin, a natural sleep regulator. And since melatonin production declines with age, a handful of walnuts in the evening might be the gentle nudge your body needs for a better night's rest. They're also powerful allies for your heart. With a mix of arginine, which improves blood flow, and antioxidants, which reduce oxidative stress, walnuts can even enhance the effects of blood pressure medication by helping arteries stay flexible. 7 to 9 walnut halves per day. Keep them refrigerated to prevent their delicate oils from turning rancid. Crack them yourself if you can. It's a great way to keep your hands and fine motor skills active. And if you find walnuts slightly bitter, that's a good sign. That bitterness comes from powerful antioxidants doing their work. So the next time you crack open a walnut, imagine it as brain fuel, nourishing your thoughts, your memories, and your mental clarity one bite at a time. The blood pressure balancer. Among all the nuts on this list, pistachios may be the most underrated, especially when it comes to one of the biggest health concerns after 60, high blood pressure. Unlike many salty snacks, pistachios are naturally low in sodium and high in potassium, offering about 285 milligrams of potassium per serving. That balance is powerful. It helps your kidneys flush out excess salt, lowering your systolic blood pressure by 3 to 5 points, according to clinical studies. And it doesn't stop there. Pistachios are rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, two carotenoids that focus directly on protecting your vision. These compounds help prevent age-related macular degeneration, the #1 cause of vision loss in people over 60. What makes pistachios unique is how practical they are for older adults. Their shells naturally slow you down, creating mindful eating habits. The act of shelling them engages your fingers and focus. And for those with arthritis, half-open pistachios make things easier without sacrificing that calming routine. A study in the International Journal of Obesity even found that having the empty shells visible helps people self-regulate and avoid overeating, something especially important for older adults managing weight and blood sugar. Speaking of, pistachios contain about 3 grams of fiber per ounce, making them ideal for the 25% of Americans over 65 who are diabetic or pre-diabetic. And let's not forget the joy of eating them. The vibrant green and purple hues, they aren't just pretty. They're loaded with antioxidants that neutralize free radicals and slow aging from the inside out. Eat about 49 pistachios per day, or roughly 1 ounce. Choose unsalted or lightly salted varieties. Shell them yourself when possible. It turns a snack into a self-care ritual. So next time you sit down with a bowl of pistachios, don't just enjoy the crunch. Know that each shell you crack is helping protect your heart, your eyes, and your peace of mind. You might think the best nut is already behind us, but what comes next is the only nut on this list that acts like a natural medicine. And if you're over 65, it may be exactly what your body is missing. The thyroid guardian. Tucked inside their dark woody shells, Brazil nuts carry something extraordinary. A natural medicine for one of the most overlooked aspects of aging, thyroid function. Just one Brazil nut contains about 96 micrograms of selenium. That's 137% of your daily requirement. And selenium is absolutely essential for activating thyroid hormones, which regulate your energy, your metabolism, and even your mood. Here's the part that's often missed. Up to 20% of people over 65 have a thyroid disorder, but symptoms like fatigue, weight changes, or low mood are often dismissed as just normal aging. Brazil nuts offer a gentle, natural solution. And unlike synthetic supplements, the selenium in Brazil nuts is organically bound, making it easier for your body to absorb and use. But the benefits go beyond the thyroid. Their fatty acids support the myelin sheath around your nerves, helping maintain reflexes and reaction time. They aid regular digestion, thanks to a perfect combo of fiber and natural oils. And their selenium content may even help slow the shortening of telomeres, those tiny caps on your chromosomes that influence how fast your cells age. Here's how to get it right. Just 1 to 2 Brazil nuts per day is all you need. Store them in the refrigerator, as their high-fat content can spoil quickly. Whenever possible, buy them in the shell. It protects their nutrients longer. Brazil nuts are powerful. Eating too many can lead to selenium overdose, but with the right amount, they become a creamy, slightly sweet treat that protects your health from the inside out. And for seniors used to reaching for salty or sugary snacks, Brazil nuts offer a luxurious, nutrient-rich alternative that supports your energy, digestion, and aging brain. So, if you're 65 or older and you want to support your thyroid naturally, this might be the simplest, most delicious place to start. Now that we've covered the best nuts for aging bodies, it's time to talk about the other side. The 4 nuts you may be eating regularly that could quietly be making things worse, starting with one that's in nearly every home: the inflammation trap. They're cheap, they're everywhere, and they're technically not even nuts. Peanuts are legumes. They grow underground, and that makes them particularly vulnerable to something called aflatoxins. Aflatoxins are natural toxins produced by mold, and they've been linked to liver damage and even increased cancer risk, especially in older adults whose detox systems are slowing down with age. But that's not the only danger. Peanuts are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which promote inflammation when consumed in excess. And most people, especially in the US, already get far too much omega-6 and too little anti-inflammatory omega-3s. Peanuts raise blood pressure, even when unsalted, worsen joint pain and cognitive decline through low-grade chronic inflammation, trigger adverse interactions with blood thinners like warfarin, due to their vitamin K content. And that peanut butter in your pantry? Unless it's freshly ground and unsalted, it likely contains hydrogenated oils linked to heart disease, added sugars spike blood sugar, and high-heat processed oils that produce acrylamide, a compound tied to cognitive impairment. Even worse, peanuts go rancid quickly when not stored properly, producing free radicals that accelerate aging. So if you've been eating peanuts thinking they're harmless, consider swapping them a few days a week for almonds or walnuts. The difference might not be obvious immediately, but inside your body, you'll be creating a much safer, more supportive environment for aging well. Next up is a nut that looks fancy and tastes luxurious. But for seniors, it may be doing more harm than good, especially for your heart, weight, and gallbladder. The blood sugar saboteur. Smooth, creamy, and dangerously easy to overeat, cashews are one of the most misunderstood nuts. They seem healthy, they taste great, but they carry risks that most seniors are never told about. First, cashews have a high carbohydrate load, about 9 grams per ounce. That might not sound like much, but for the 25% of Americans over 65 who are diabetic, and the nearly 50% who are pre-diabetic, this can spike blood sugar in ways that go unnoticed until it's too late. Low fiber compared to other nuts. Oxalates, which bind to calcium and reduce its absorption, dangerous for aging bones. And a choking risk, especially for seniors with swallowing difficulties. There's more. Cashews undergo heavy processing to remove urushiol, a toxic compound also found in poison ivy. This processing strips away nutrients and adds oxidized oils and salt in most store-bought varieties. Nutritionally, cashews fall short, especially for seniors with osteoporosis due to oxalates, those with kidney stone risk, and anyone with digestive issues, as cashews contain enzyme inhibitors that impair protein absorption. And let's not forget the psychological trap. Their rich, buttery texture and mild sweetness makes them easy to overconsume. For older adults with a slower metabolism, this can lead to unwanted weight gain at a stage of life when balance is everything. A safer habit? Swap cashews for walnuts or almonds. They offer more fiber, less sugar, and stronger protective benefits without the metabolic risks. The hidden calorie bomb. Rich, buttery, and often seen as luxurious, macadamia nuts are delicious. But for seniors, they can be a danger in disguise. Why? They're the most calorie-dense nut on the market, with about 200 calories per ounce and an astonishing 22 grams of fat. For older adults whose metabolism naturally slows down with age, this creates the perfect storm for unintentional weight gain, which increases the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and mobility limitations. But there's more. Macadamias are extremely high in saturated fat, about 3 grams per ounce. That's the type of fat that can raise LDL cholesterol, putting further strain on hearts already at risk. And for the 15% of seniors with gallstones, this fat load can silently trigger painful episodes, often without warning. Macadamias also pose a physical hazard for seniors with crowns, bridges, or weakened teeth, anyone with reduced enamel from aging, and those using dentures, as their density can cause damage. Financially, they're among the most expensive nuts, and that sometimes leads older adults to buy cheaper, improperly stored versions, which increases the risk of oxidized fats and rancidity. Most commercially sold macadamias are also oil roasted in unstable fats, heavily salted, increasing blood pressure risk, and sold in packaging that doesn't preserve freshness. Bottom line, they're tasty. Macadamias offer less nutritional value for the risks they bring, especially when compared to safer options like pistachios, which provide more fiber, antioxidants, and better support for aging bodies. If you've been snacking on macadamias thinking they're heart healthy, it might be time for a gentle switch. Your body will thank you. The next nut might surprise you. It's small, elegant, and often found in gourmet dishes, but it can interfere with medications and trigger a rare syndrome that affects your taste, appetite, and even your weight. The medication disruptor. They're small, elegant, and often found in pesto or fancy dishes. But for older adults, pine nuts can be surprisingly harmful, especially if you take medication. Research shows that pine nuts contain compounds that interfere with over 60% of common prescriptions taken by people over 65. That includes statins, antidepressants, blood pressure medications. And yet, most doctors and pharmacists never warn patients about food-drug interactions like these. But that's just the beginning. Pine nuts have been linked to something called pine nut syndrome, a bitter, metallic taste that can last for days or even weeks after eating. It might sound harmless, but for older adults, it can have serious consequences. Decreased appetite, altered sense of taste, nutrient deficiencies, and in 42% of cases, even unintentional weight loss. As we age, our detox pathways and taste receptors weaken. That means pine nut reactions become more intense and harder to recover from. Pine nut in polyunsaturated fats, which oxidize quickly and become inflammatory, a choking hazard due to their slick, small size, a risk for seniors with dry mouth, a common side effect of many prescriptions, arthritis, macular degeneration, or digestive issues. Pine nuts can worsen inflammation, impair protein digestion due to enzyme inhibitors, and possibly even accelerate vision loss, according to emerging studies on age-related eye conditions. The safest path? Avoid pine nuts entirely after 65, or limit them to rare occasions, and always talk to your doctor if you're taking medication. They may seem harmless in a salad or pesto, but for aging bodies, pine nuts can be a silent disruptor of strength, stability, and health. When it comes to aging, well, small habits matter sometimes more than we realize. And few habits are as deceptively powerful as the types of nuts we reach for. In this video, you discovered 4 nuts that nourish your body, support your bones, brain, heart, and thyroid, and 4 that may quietly undermine your health, disrupt your medications, or worsen inflammation. These aren't just nutrition facts. They're tools to help you stay stronger, sharper, and more independent as the years go by. So, next time you're reaching into your snack jar, ask yourself, is this helping me age better or making things harder without me even noticing? Now it's your turn. Have you noticed a difference in your health after adding or removing certain nuts from your diet? Or maybe one specific nut changed how you sleep, move, or think? Tell us in the comments. Your story might help someone else make a better choice today. If you believe aging well starts with small, smart choices, this channel was made for you. Subscribe and join a growing community of people over 60 who are taking back control of their health, one decision at a time. Until next time, remember, even the smallest changes like switching your snacks can create a lifetime of difference.